so many things I want to ask you. So
Okay.
let's lead into it. The music of Cream, great lineup that it's you, Kofi, Steven, and Chris. You have these upcoming makeup dates. Now, what I had read originally was Disraeli Gears was sort of the focus of the show, but you're doing other stuff. Has that changed since 2020, or is it a different show because time changed things?
No, you know what? It's the same show. We didn't get to finish what we started. And, you know, whether it's just dumb luck or tenacity or sheer brilliance, we're going to finish what we started. You know, it was good then,
yeah.
and it's great now. It was good. Yeah, that's it. You know, it was a great idea, and it still is a great idea.
Yeah. Well, before you started the music of Cream, how much of the catalog did you know how to play? And by that, I mean start to finish, not just knowing the riffs.
That's a good question. Probably not very much, actually.
Really?
And I had to do, you know, because I was busy doing my own thing, to be honest, when I first got invited into this, first got involved. And so I really had to do some work. I had to do a lot of homework, and I did. I spent, you know, a good 5 hours a day practicing and learning. And although that, you know, with a lot of the tunes, we don't do it all note for note, but Crossroads in particular, because it's so iconic, you know, I did spend time perfecting that just because it's so fast and sassy and sexy. And it's just, I mean, it's the ultimate guitar, one of the ultimate guitar solos in history. Yeah. So I really put the time in to make that a high point of the show. But one of the things that, you know, Kofi and I have got, which is special, is the ability to interpret the music in our own special way, which obviously we honor it, and you know, we play it. Well, it's different from song to song. And Kofi himself would tell you, you know, his dad always used to say to him, if you play the same thing, you play it the same way every night, then he'd be cross. Ginger would get cross.
Yeah, you know? He was a jazz guy. You never do anything the same way twice. I get it.
Right, yeah. But you know what? If I was to be really, really honest, you know, we're quite spiritual. When we get onto that stage and the music starts, something else takes over. You know, it's bigger than the Spanish have a word that is called comprendemos.
Understand more?
Not so much. More that something, the collective understanding. You know, what I've heard before, that when you go to a concert and there's a whole bunch of people, the collective IQ drops and becomes that of a child. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like you go to a bachelor party and the weakest, drunkest person of the whole group is who or what is deciding you're doing next. It's not the smartest person that's the defined leader. It's who do we have to worry about getting sick? Okay, yeah. Let's limit what we can do to that because we care about that. But the concerts, it's like, well, who's the most idiotic person in the crowd? They're controlling it.
Oh, Darren, you're killing me, man. If only you knew. Yeah, that's it. You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that is so intriguing for me to hear. And also with you being a multi-generational lineage with the family, I'm finding more and more people that I interview who their father or mother was a career musician, or even their grandparents, the less likely they know the catalog of the people in their family.
Yeah, well, you just don't. I mean, for me, for the longest time, you know, it was Johnny Guitar Watson you know. Oh wow, and I just loved his humor in the lyrics, and the way he played was just so sort of clean and syncopatedly funky. um and then you know, and then BB King in the last, you know, probably the last 10-15 years, you know, just my heart, that's where I'm coming from. Just BB would, he was coming from such a place of love. The great man, in every note that he played, I think that you can impress people with, you know, with a cool lick that's maybe fast or has got a bunch of notes in it or whatever, and you can electrify people that way. But if you really want to make, you know, people's hair stand up on their arm, then it's one note, you know, straight to the heart, and that's what does it. And BB King was the master at that. And I submit to his teachings. And he used to say himself, the greatest thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you.
When you have one of the Music of Cream shows, what's the audience usually look like in terms of demographics? The reason I ask that is, if you were putting on, I don't know why I'm wearing a Judas Priest shirt. If you're putting on a Judas Priest,
I was wondering that, Darren.
The hits are great. If you're putting on a Judas Priest tribute show, you'd say, okay, the audience is going to be 45 to 70, mostly male, and that's that. But something like Cream, I'm imagining it's a multi-generational audience where some of the people are musicians, some of the people, their parent or their grandparents going, you have to see this band, this music was important. Is it a multi-generational kind of crowd?
Yes, it is. And then you know, with the second set, obviously we do Clapton classics. It's kind of expanded. You know, when we first started doing it, and it was the Music of Cream, that was a little bit niche, and there was a sort of a gap or an age bracket perhaps that was not present. And it was sort of the older generation, and then some younger kids and guitar players, of course, because I don't know, you know, pretty much, I don't care where you're from, Sunshine of Your Love is one of the riffs that you learn as a guitar player. Just,
yeah,
it's
10th grade talent show. We played it in the 10th grade talent show, and it was terrible. But it's that first or second song. It's like Smoke on the Water, or
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
It's one of the steps.
Yeah. I can't imagine how many horrible versions of that song you've heard.
Oh yeah, well, it's great, you know. But that's always wonderful, and I've always, you know, whenever I can and I can see the kids that have come along, I try and pick them out, and if I've still got some picks left in my pocket, then I try and inspire them by chucking them or flicking them a pick, or, you know, often they'd come to the meet and greets, and I'm really hoping and looking forward to, I'm hoping that people will still be able to do that, and that the recent events over the past couple of years or whatever is going to put people off wanting to come and say hi, because I'm a strong believer in that. And it's great to meet the people who've come out to the show, and we can't do it. You know, I've missed it so much. You know, I'm so longing to get back, you know, to seeing everybody, and to doing that what I love and what we all love together to experience. Because doing it online, that's great and everything, and good luck to everybody who's made that their thing and made that successful, but that's never what you know, that's one thing. What we do, something completely different. I'm going to go back to the comprendemos thing and the collective, everybody experiencing something together on the spiritual side. You know, granted, it's a little psychedelic, and you know, you can take that however far you want to go, but essentially, you know, it's a beautiful thing, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I count myself really, really lucky, and I'm grateful to have that opportunity.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say other projects that you're working on besides the Music of Cream, or is that just the focus of everything for the moment?
Well, no, I'm definitely not allowed to talk about anything else right now except for the music of Cream. It's within my my remit, and my I don't want to get anybody upset. But yeah, of course, I'm working on a new album, a solo album. My last album, Blues Daddy, which was just a sort of a collection of my favorite blues tunes that I would naturally, perform with different musicians around the world when I arrive in somewhere new and have a pickup band or whatever, and we all speak the same language. You know what I mean? And 1, 2, 3, 4. Every day I have the blues, and off you go. So that was that, and now I'm working on a new album, which I think is going to be called Yin and Yang. And that's all original stuff, and as always, a little bit of old songs that slip through the net along the way, and some new stuff, stuff I'm really excited about. And so I'm working on that, and I'm trying not to rush it or feel like, okay, I'm going to do the Cream tour, so I need to get this finished before this happens. I'm just kind of a little bit relaxed about it all and let it all come out naturally, if I can say that.
The reason I was asking if you're allowed to talk about stuff is, as somebody who interviews a lot of actors and musicians are very different in that musicians, if you say, tell me about your next album, what's happening? They'll go, oh, well, we've got 13 songs demoed. I've got 30 songs written. I think spring 2022. And then you talk to an actor and they go, let me ask my publicist. Is it embargoed? Is it on deadline.com? No. Oh, no. I got stuff coming. You have to check my social media and I'll tell you what it is. So it's refreshing to see that you are continuing to stay busy in a variety of projects, touring and recording.
Yeah, I'm actually really lucky enough to be heading out to Guatemala in a couple of weeks. I've got a little tour around Lake Atitlan. There's a lot of communities around there, both indigenous and non-indigenous. And everybody, so I'm lucky enough, really lucky. I haven't been there for 30 years, almost to the month. And I'm really looking forward to going and playing some blues with some of the musicians. I'm actually playing with Whitney. I think it's Whitney Perry from Thunder Pussy.
Yeah.
And that's going to be exciting. And there's a number of great musicians there, and we're part of the Harvest Festival over there, and that's really exciting. And so that's going to be sort of like my warm up, getting my chops back up. And I had a few finger accidents just recently. I don't know if you can see that. That's what's left of my little finger. Luckily, it's just enough sort of angle. I can still swell on the volume pot, so we won't worry about that too much. And then my nose picking finger, that one's been a little bit upset too. I had a little accident with a multi-tool.
It sounds like you're taking good care of yourself and you'll be fine. Show me a great guitar player who hasn't had to push back a tour due to a shoulder surgery, a finger surgery, or anything. Steve Vai is the latest one. I think he postponed after he postponed. So it happens.
I was just showing my son Charlie, he's just 15 now, and he has started playing guitar. And what he's done in the last 6 months took me years. And he'd never seen the jewel at the end of Crossroads, or Crossroads at all. Explained to him, look, watch this. This is my whole ethos and my whole clue to my guitar playing and my psyche around what it's all about with the guitar and my career. I based my whole career around that film and what happens to Eugene as he busts Willie Brown out of the high security hospital and takes him down to Yeah, takes him
I'm
down to the crossroads.
super curious about that because I had the pleasure of interviewing Vi like 2 months ago, but you weren't allowed to put it out until 2 weeks ago. It was a weird embargo. Steve Vai, the rare actor musician.
Yeah.
Now, most people who are excellent guitar players are or were in some form inspired by Van Halen. Steve Vai took over in a way for Eddie Van Halen by playing with Roth. Was Van Halen and or David Lee Roth part of your musical DNA?
No, but when my dad Andy was working with Eddie on the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge album, and not a lot of people know this, but if you take the letters from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, it actually spells, "Hey, how you doing?" So at that time, Eddie was working with Music Man and came up with the Eddie Van Halen Music Man guitar. And so that's where, I'm kind of known for playing an Eddie Van Halen, and that's because that was at that time. And Eddie's guitar tech phoned up Andy and said, "Look, Eddie's got his favorite 5, 10, whatever Music Man guitars, but he's got this one, but it's been made really beautiful, and we think Will should have it, And so I got that in, I think it was 1992, Christmas. Yeah, it was Christmas present. And I took it out of the box, the case, and I'd never seen anything so beautiful in my whole life. And then I turned on MTV because I'm a, I learned to play by playing along to music that I liked. So I turned on MTV to whatever was going to come on, I was going to play to that. And it was Whitney Houston, "I Will Always Love You." And that was the first thing I ever played on it. And years later, it was, I lost it. I put the case underneath my legs at the bus stop. I was trying to get home. I may have had a shandy or two. And I was far too interested in getting home with my female friend. And the bus came along, and I just got up and got on the bus. And sure enough, when I realized what I'd done, it was too late. And she was gone for years. But she came back. She came back, and I had the opportunity to buy her back for about 925 English pounds.
Still a bargain. I mean, that's a lot of money, but still a bargain when it's an Eddie Van Halen related guitar. And wow, my last on the record question for you has nothing to do with your success or the music of Cream or what we've talked about. It's, do you have a TV recommendation you could pass along for a new show to start?
For a new show to start? A new show? No, I'm going to take you back to an old show.
Okay.
So I'm actually a hopeless romantic sentimentalist. And what I'm getting a kick out of at the moment, I've got a Android box. So, with one of those, you can pretty much dial up anything that was ever invented. And I'm watching, drum roll.
Metaphorical drum roll, yeah.
Highway to Heaven.
Okay.
You remember that show?
I only know it by name, but I never saw it.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. Michael Landon, who of course was in Bonanza, and he's the angel in Purgatory. Yeah, so he's stuck on Earth, and he's got his buddy who's called Jonathan. I think no, maybe he's called Jonathan. I don't know. And he's got his buddy, the bearded guy who wears the baseball cap, and they drive around, and nobody knows that he's actually an angel, and he goes around helping people and doing these, really wonderful deeds for people who are having difficulty in life. And I watch this stuff, and I'm there. The tears are rolling down my cheeks with a great big smile on my face. And I guess part of it is sort of remembering watching it when I must have been, preteen or whatever.
So it holds up.
So it holds up. Yeah, well, to me it does anyway.
Paltrocast.